Let's be honest, we don't know anything about our elected officials. They're hidden behind curated social media profiles and press releases to the point that they often seem barely human. We're here to break down those barriers and get under the hood of their real character. Our guest today is Congressman Josh Gottheimer. My name is Scott Salmon, and this is Politically Driven.
Do you have a favorite hot dog place?
There are two. I have a couple places that I think make the best hot dogs in my town.
Sure.
At the bottom of the hill, there's a trolley. Mm-hmm. It's an old-fashioned trolley. They have hot dogs. My kids love their hot dogs. Uh-huh. The best place, if you're asking me beyond northern Jersey here, the Windmill, the original Windmill, which is in Long Branch, New Jersey. Yeah. Unbelievable. I don't know if you've ever been there. It's actual, the old
I've seen it. I've never been to that one.
Amazing. And as a kid, my best memories are going, and they have, the big hot dogs, but they grill them in a way, and they burn them just a little bit. They burn them just the right amount. And across the way, basically, I'm about a mile down, is Max's Original Hot Dog. Max's, also been around forever. They have the best hot dog. But they arguably tie for the best hot dog in Jersey, the two of them. But Max's has corn. Unbelievable corn. If you like corn on the cob.
That's interesting.
Yes, if you like corn on the cob.
So they really got the good accoutrements.
So anyway, those are my. In case anyone's looking. Now, I'm sure we could have a very good debate about this. My first political job working in government was as a Senate page for Frank Lautenberg. On the floor of the Senate, you can apply and you get nominated by your senator. And you can basically be a glorified assistant, but work on the floor of the United States Senate, which was, just incredible.
How old were you when you did that?
I think I was probably 16.
Okay.
And then I interned for Frank Lautenberg, and I worked one summer for the Secretary of the United States Senate, and I worked on closed captioning on C-SPAN to get them to make sure they started closed captioning.
That is one of the more specific jobs I've ever heard about.
That was like my whole summer I spent trying to get closed caption on. I hadn't done it before.
That's interesting.
So we got him to do it and worked on the project all summer, which was amazing. And then
whose idea was that?
I'm sure the Secretary of the Senate at the time, and then she tasked me. Her name was Jerry Thompson. Mm-hmm. She tasked me to do it. But anyway, and then I got a job working for as an internship for President Clinton.
Okay.
And in the White House. And I think that was the summer of '95. Okay. And then I worked and then I got on the campaign for President Clinton as reelect, and worked on the reelect. And then I graduated, and then I went back to work in the White House. We started at, by the way, an amazing diner. That's where
That was Abby's Diner.
Abby's Diner.
Yeah.
I just had a quick cup of coffee. It's a great diner. The people are amazing. It's an institution, and I take my kids there for chocolate chip pancakes. I try at least every other week to get there I take them early in the morning for breakfast.
That might be the most New Jersey sentence I've heard.
What?
You got to go to your diner, like once a week or every other week. Yeah.
So every month I do these Cup of Joes with Josh. We go to a different diner in a different town and have a town hall. But I do them in diners.
Oh, that's good, yeah.
And because everyone loves a diner, and I try to go table to table, and we have caseworkers there in case people have specific issues, but answer people's questions and hang out with them, and we have breakfast, and of course you get to know all the diner owners in New Jersey, and that's there's definitely people's, I'm sure you have your favorite diner.
Yeah, of course.
Definitely I have 20.
Scotchwood.
I have 20 favorite diners now. I have my favorite diner from growing up. I have my favorite diner from now. But yeah, so.
A diner for all seasons?
A diner for all seasons. I started the campaign in doing rapid response, which meant if there was an attack from the other side, you help figure out how to respond to it. And then I started writing drafts of op-eds and letters for elected officials on behalf of President Clinton, why they were supporting him, and so I'd help them out with what they wrote. Mm-hmm. And I loved it. Mm-hmm. And so then I decided that I would love to be, he wins re-election. I was in graduate school in England, and the question was, so then they asked, would you be interested in, working in the White House somewhere? And I said, yeah, I'd love to. Here's what I'd like to do. I want to be a speechwriter. So other jobs kept coming up, and I kept holding out. So I wanted to go. So I wanted to be a speechwriter because I thought the idea of being able to be part of the process where you get to hand a draft of what the president's going to say to the president of the United States is a pretty big deal. And it's where like everything is debated, right? You're sort of the policy, the politics, the communication. It all kind of comes together on the page, and you're responsible. Right. So so I worked. I get an opportunity to do it, and can't apply. You take writing tests, and it's not easy. So I'm thrilled. I was actually the day I was working. I was working on my PhD at the time, and I was also scooping ice cream at Ben & Jerry's in Washington D.C. I was like to make money at night. I would like work during the day on my stuff, and then I'd be in the library, and then at night I'd be scooping ice cream. So I got a call. So I literally one day was scooping, and the next day I was at the White House. Right. And what I loved about working at Ben & Jerry's is that people buy ice cream, they're happy. Yeah. And they go to Ben & Jerry's.
It's impossible to not be happy.
It's like an experience, right? People love going to Ben & Jerry's. Right. So people walk in, everyone's happy. There's a long line, but people don't complain. They're just happy to be there. And and then you can have fun, and like they encourage you to like have fun with make them large. You're not measuring. Right. They're like, just go for it, pack it in. That's awesome. And you let people. I'd let people come behind, like scoop.
Yeah. Oh, really?
And,
That's cool.
Whatever. You just have fun, and people are really happy. By the way, when I started speechwriting, I started basically as like a chief of staff job for the speechwriting team and an assistant to the chief speechwriter. Right. And then you start getting to write some stuff, and then they give you more responsibility. Right. And by the end, I was, full speechwriter. Clinton's magic in giving speeches is usually not what we'd write for him because.
That's fair.
Because he really didn't like overwriting. And he wasn't into, trying to shoot for this, the Churchillian prose. Yeah. Right. That was not really his aim.
He was never gonna sit there and read straight through the thing anyway.
Yeah, his aim though, because he wanted to talk to people. He wanted everybody to he thought you could talk about really big ideas without having to use fancy words or quotes. Mm-hmm. And he would literally write something that I thought was soaring, and he would cross it out and write words. Really? As in come on. This is not how people speak to each other.
Right.
And I think that's actually, I learned a lot in terms of speeches that the best way, and I do my best to try to do this too when I write what I'm writing for myself. It's like don't try. You don't have to write anything fancy. Right. Just speak to the point. Speak to people like the way you speak to people normally.
Did you have a favorite teacher when you were growing up?
Totally. Yes.
And who was that?
I'm gonna. I've got a few. Okay. And by the way, if any other teachers watching who I did not name, I'm sorry. I'm just picking one. Okay. There are a few. A guy named Richard Hockman, who taught me in 7th grade and I think 8th grade. Mm-hmm. And he, may he rest in peace. He's not with us anymore. And he was one of the most energetic, committed people you'll ever meet. You'd ever meet. He taught us about. He taught me about politics and government and difference. I remember he would explain an issue. This was really a big deal as a 7th grader. Right. And he would explain an issue, and he would say gay rights, which was pretty progressive. I remember him talking about it then. And he would. Literally, he had so much energy. He would run to one side of the room, the right side, and he would explain the position. Sure. And he'd say, "My name is so and so," and I think he used Archie Bunker a lot. My name is Archie Bunker, and then he would explain the position. Here's what I think, and then he'd sprint to the other side. He'd explain the position on the left, and then he'd go to the middle. Yeah. And it made on all these issues, and he picked every issue, and it made me think. Right. And he explained it in a way, this is the point, he explained it in a way that was not like out of a textbook answer that'll put you to sleep. It was really brought it to life. A way that someone actually thinks about it,
There's going to be a rapid fire series of questions. Answer the first thing that comes to your mind, just 1 or 2 words. You don't have to give a full answer. Just the first thing that pops into your head, okay?
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah, let's see if I answer them. Go ahead.
Okay. Taylor ham or pork roll?
Taylor ham.
Correct. When you eat a taco, do you turn your head or do you turn the taco?
Turn your head.
Fair enough. Fill in the blank. The greatest band or musician ever is blank.
Turn your head or turn the taco? Wait, like, hold on. I don't know if I've ever actually, I don't know why I answered that way. I don't know if I've ever thought about that.
For me, it depends if it's a soft
taco.
shell or a hard shell taco.
I guess it depends like how everything's fallen out of the taco.
Exactly. Fair enough. All right,
Okay.
fill in the blank. The greatest band or musician ever is blank.
Springsteen.
Fair enough.
It's like, that's like not even a question.
Also a very New Jersey answer.
Yeah.
Which Muppet is Paul Ryan most like?
Which Muppet
Yeah.
is Paul Ryan most like?
Yeah.
Beaker?
That was 100% right. Yes, 100% right. Okay. What is the most reckless, dangerous thing that you have ever done?
Skydive.
Ooh, that's cool. Who is the greatest football player to ever live?
Oh, man. That's like a very tricky question. That's like a very, very tricky question.
You know it in your gut. Who is it?
To ever live?
To ever live.
Well, listen, I grew up with the Giants. I'm a Giants fan.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just go, and I remember the Super Bowls, like I'm going to go Phil Simms.
Doubly incorrect. It is Joe Namath. I'm a Jets fan.
You're a Jets fan. I know, I saw that, by the way.
Who is your favorite? Who is your
Oh,
favorite?
Sims lives in Franklin Lakes.
Does it really?
Oh, yeah.
We should go stop by his house.
Exactly.
Who is your favorite congressman or congresswoman to text with?
Joe Kennedy.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I texted him last night.
Did we really land on the moon?
Did we really land on the moon? Yeah.
How much do they pay? How much do they pay you to say that? You did great. You did great.
Thanks.
Except for maybe the football question.
Football question?
But otherwise, you did great.
Yeah.
What makes Joe Kennedy one of your favorite people to text with?
First of all, Joe, if you don't know him, is just an incredible guy. As a member from Massachusetts, he's just a great guy.
By the way, this is your corner. I see 1, 2, 3. I see 4 signs for you here.
We work out together. Yeah, it's a good street for me.
Yeah, really.
And they take a left up here. We work out together. So I work out the bipartisan group in the morning.
How much does he bench?
We don't bench. We do CrossFit.
Okay.
No benching.
Okay.
But I would beat him.
Would you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And by the way, if you're listening, Joe, it's a challenge.
Next week I'm politically driven.
But Joe is, he's a little on the left of me, politically.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the if you're right here, he's one of the smartest, most thoughtful members that people I've met, and he helped me early on when I was running. But just beyond that, he's just a really good person and very thoughtful.
Right.
And we can give each other grief.
Right.
Listen, just like you said about friends, like you also develop a bunch of friendships, and I got Democrats I'm good friends with, Republicans I'm good friends with, and you joke around and have a good time and talk serious, and can get into it on issues, and I think that's what, to me, like anything, relationships are really important, which is why I've really focused on making relationships on both sides of the aisle, because if you want to get a piece of legislation done, especially right now, the Republicans are in control.
Right.
Like you better be able to work with the Republicans and find a solution where you get 80% of what you want, instead of insisting on getting everything you want.
Right. And get nothing.
And get nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
If you're just going to be an obstructionist or just insist on getting everything, you'll get nothing. And I think it's part of what's wrong right now with some people. One thing I've discovered so far is that if you do take the time, you can develop great relationships.
Right.
And those relationships are, when I'm introducing a piece of legislation that's good for us in the 5th District of New Jersey, like I can pick up the phone or text a bunch of different Republicans and get them as co-sponsors and make it bipartisan.
Right.
And I find, which gives it a much better chance of passing. I passed a piece of rail safety legislation.
Right.
We're right in here.
Right.
I passed a piece of rail safety legislation because I worked with both sides, and I find that, I don't work, and I'm sure you feel the same way. I don't work for a national political party.
Right.
I work for where we're just driving around,
Right.
the 5th District of New Jersey. The House of Representatives, your job is to be a representative, to fight for the people you represent, whether that's infrastructure or cutting taxes or make sure the air and the water are clean, whatever the issue is, you have to represent the people here.
Right.
And sometimes not everyone. So of course there's gonna be people, especially in the middle, people don't love it. You're always gonna have people on one day who don't like what you're doing. But I think your job is to make sure that you do your best to represent everyone. And I take that part of my job really seriously.
Yeah.
You gotta work together.
Yeah.
And like if you wear your political stripes instead of just your problem-solving stripes,
Right.
you're not gonna get stuff done.
Right.
And so I don't know. That's how like so far these are just my initial thoughts. Who knows? I'll be driving around with you in a year from now, maybe with different ideas.
Yeah, fair enough.
We'll see.